Assalamualaikum, I'm Khalid. And I'm Ania. You're listening to my daddy on Bill XCR talk show video.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Levon X of Brother Levon X Community Reporting. We pray all is well. Today we got a good treat for you today. Today we're talking about stress and how men can overcome these stresses. And we're talking with Brother Vernon and Brother Shaka. And also we have our music selections today. We got Problem 13, Lish 2 times. And then we got Da-Neek. We got to also, if you listen to the end, we got the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan dropping knowledge as always, talking about truth and overcoming arrogance and discovering our purpose, which we all should strive to do. So without further ado, here's our program. May God continue to bless you. Assalamu alaikum. But it goes back into, like you said, the consequences of those actions. You say, do I blow $500 knowing I got this responsibility? But sometimes you said something very key, Brother Brent, about having the means. Even though you got the means, but a responsible man, once he becomes the pillar of his household, right? He always think about that just in case.
Mm-hmm.
It was saying, and I find that with myself prior to when I was a single man and a married man. A single me was buying 2 or 3 suits a week because I could do it, still have money left over. It was just me. You see what I'm saying? But when I matured and I added on more responsibility, I kind of start budgeting a little different. Priorities change. And this is where I hope any young man or any man listening that a husband or a father is selfless. You got to put yourself, and it's part of manhood, because one of the things about we're taught is the weight of the world is on our shoulders for a reason. And God don't put anything on us that we can't handle. You can have little temptations out there. And I use the TV as an example, but there's some men that because of stress, they seek another girlfriend when they're not supposed to. It was saying where now their finances are going somewhere towards another household because you got to take it out, got to take out to eat, got to spend money, but that money is now taken away from your family because you don't know how to deal with your emotions, your stress. So you're finding different avenues, even when you're dealing with drinking. You know what I'm saying? Some people find alcohol as a vice, overeating. You know what I'm saying? You drive by McDonald's, you thinking about, hey, man, I can smell them French fries, and you're supposed to be eating it, but you go in their driveway, you order number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever your combo is, but you find it because all those things are accessible to you. So from your point, brothers, what do you feel that how brothers have to stop maturing or develop their spirituality to deal with today's stresses?
Thank you, brother. It's all spiritual, right? That's all we really are. We are God having this human experience. It's temporary. We have to feed our body, but through the grace of Allah, we just went through the holy month of Ramadan, and we demonstrated that we don't have to feed our body. We can go several days without eating. We can go with abstaining from sexual relationships with our wives. We can go without cursing and being mean-spirited. So we know that if we make the choice to, we can be incredibly disciplined, extraordinarily disciplined, if we make the choice to, if our spirit is aligned in such a way that first and foremost, being pleasing to Allah is at the forefront of what we do, we say, we think, and we feel. And then from that, do we handle our responsibilities as husbands and fathers? Do we handle our responsibilities as pillars of our community? Do we make time for the things that are uncomfortable, that I would rather be doing something else? I know the game is on. I know, I have clothes to fold or whatever the thing is, but I'm making time for a cause that is bigger than myself. I'm making time to engage with this young person who might call out of the blue and need to talk about whatever it is that they're talking about. I don't just ignore the call. It really comes down to, where is your spirit? Where is your spirit? Who are you? And are you who you say that you are?
Yeah, I believe that just like Brother Shaka started with, there's no separation between spirit, and your life and what you do in this life. There's no separation. You can't do what you do in life and be effective without thinking about how your spirit is affected by what you're doing and how your spirit is going to make you successful in what it is you want to do. I just can't see it any other way. And because of what we've been taught, you got to be holistic. If your mind ain't in it, your body's not going to be, 100% as effective as you need to be. And if you're trying to do something or accomplish something and you don't have the right spirit behind it, the outcome, the result that you're going to get is going to be less than you want. So it's essential. That's a component of manhood, another component of manhood. You got to develop your mind. You got to develop your body. Of course, keep yourself healthy and alive and around because you got people depending on you, but you got to also cultivate your spirit because without that ingredient, it just won't taste right.
Yes, sir. And no, wait, Brother Shaka, I'm glad you brought that up, brother, because we want to start giving some solutions as we build, on our last closing down, brother. And in the Quran, it says that Allah does not burden his soul beyond that it can bear. And you mentioned we just finished Ramadan, and Allah, whether you call him Allah, God, Jehovah, has given us tools. And when you said Ramadan, brother, it automatically gave the antidote of discipline, the stresses of the world, because I know when I go through Ramadan, it's like a recharge, right? All that extra weight that I didn't want to have on disappears. I start feeling better. My push-ups become a little easier. I'm saying my cardiovascular when I run now is a lot different because I don't detox myself from whatever I'm dealing with. Me focusing on Allah and my prayers as I supposed to starts getting a little better. You know what I'm saying? So, every man should have some form of discipline or training himself to be disciplined, and nothing beats fasting and that discipline and give submitting to something bigger than yourself. And I think every man should have that context where before you do something, prayer is always important. And I can see why the importance of praying 5 times is so necessary for the times that we're in, because you will find yourself praying more than 5 times because that helps you stay mindful of the challenges you have. So, like, for example, I'm using myself. If I know that if I'm upset with something and before I let my mind go somewhere left or right, I stop, do a prayer, because that'll bring myself down from allowing any wicked thoughts or anything to come into my mind, because it does work. You know what I'm saying? You ask refuge from Allah. I'm saying to be better in your thinking and your behavior so the outcome will be a lot better before I act out on frustration. And that can help in even temptation, finances, anything. I do believe that when you learn how to fast, as Brother Shaka brought up, that is important, because if you can sustain from food and other appetites of the world, you can pretty much overcome anything. And then when it comes to the stresses of finances or the other stresses come in there, we have to realize that it's something greater than all that. Allah, God is greater than all that. And long as we staying in tune with him and put that in the forefront, I think we could overcome any obstacle. So spirituality, brothers, let's build on that. 'Cause a lot of men, sometimes say, well, I pray nothing happens because they expect an instant gratification or instant answers just because they pray. They're looking for instant gratification. So what do you share with those who are starting to fade away from their faith or not believing in God because they're not getting the results they want? And perhaps they're missing out on the lesson to why they're going through those ordeals. What say you?
I think that we could all benefit from really defining or redefining what it is we think we know, what it is we think we believe, all that. Just using the example, you talked about prayer. Somebody gave me the acronym. They said prayer actually represents positive reinforcement affecting your entire realm. Now, if you think about how people pray asking for something and waiting for it to arrive, or waiting for somebody, whoever they're praying to do something for them. That's totally different from you putting a positive thought, positive energy, positive intention into all that you do and looking for the result that comes from what comes inside of you, what's from inside of you, your positive reinforcement. It's just a total different way of looking at things. And when people start to slip away from what they say they believe, what they say they think they know, or what they knew at one point in time, you just have to re-examine it, go deeper. Stop thinking that we already know. Stop thinking that we already got it, and look deeper into what it is that you have. Because when you truly put yourself in the position of being faithful, you can't lose. It's just how things work.
Brother Shaka?
I heard it said, or I read it somewhere. It's very powerful. It said that the believer is constantly in fear. Constantly in fear that what he or she is doing is not enough. And it's really powerful, because I think oftentimes, like Brother Vernon said, we think that because we have been baptized, or we make Shahada, or whatever the thing is, are we good? We got it. I've been doing this. Like I've been in the ranks, or I've been in the church for 20 years, 30 years. But those who are really seeking to please Allah are constantly concerned about their soul. They're constantly thinking, if I walk by the man who asked me for $1, like, even if I really legitimately don't have it, I feel bad that I don't have it. Like, I'm thinking about it, like, man, I should have had it, right? Because back in the day when I was a chief Negro, I wouldn't leave the house without some magnums in my pocket. So I should have left the house with some loose dollars for the brother or the sister on the corner. Like, I was not prepared to do good in the same way that I used to be prepared to do bad. And so I think we should constantly be in guard of our soul and not get comfortable, especially in a time like this. Like, the world is literally falling apart around us, and that's not hyperbole. Like, we should really be striving hard to please Allah.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna ask you brothers this, and I'll close the segment, brothers. If somebody was listening to you right now, what advice would you give them how to overcome temptation, lust, and challenges not being financially stable, to have a sane mentality to push forward? What advice would you give someone dealing with those obstacles?
That's like one end of the spectrum to the other. Like,
Yes, sir.
Shoot. I think first and foremost, you gotta realize that there's somebody bigger than you. There's somebody greater than you, and on him do we rely. Everything that you think, say, and do, you have to. If you want to overcome, to rise above, to be victorious in regards to that thing, you have to go to the source of victory. You have to go to the source of triumph. You have to go to the source, the one who is greater than all of that. Whatever it is that you're facing, whatever it is you're trying to overcome, whatever it is you're struggling with. Understand it's a process. Understand that, number one, understand that low vibration emotions like guilt and beating yourself up, they don't do anything for you. Everybody falls by slips. Everybody has made a mistake, but we gotta keep it moving forward.
You're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast.
stand alert. The maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Self-created out the triple stage darkness. Black man, you the first that ever knew the earth to ever have life. To put your seeds inside the queen and watch it add life. We lost the knowledge of ourselves, live a mad life. A sad life, a little diamond nickel bag life. You don't recognize the God in yourself. He ain't white like that sissy looking hippie buster full stop. He look like you, me, Nipsey Hussle, Tupac. We in the last days, last phase, true talk. It's the days of the Son of Man. Rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes, but you don't understand. Facts in this thesis, blacker than Jesus. Problem 13, and I'm back with the remix. Supreme wisdom, student enrollment. That's what the class of God students enrolling. Supreme wisdom, I study it hard. The study of myself is the study of God. Supreme wisdom, write your letter, get your X. Supreme wisdom, that's what you'll be getting next. Supreme wisdom, some call it the lessons. Book of life, the book of like actual facts, no guessing. Stand upright on this third rock, 6 sextillion tons, 93 million miles away from the grilling sun. Traveling at the rate of 1,037 and a third miles every 60 minutes. You don't feel a thing. All praises due to Allah is what I really mean. This is what it sounds like when gorillas scream, when lions roar, when we wake up from the mental enslavement of America, that lion whore. Yakub's grabbed the devil, synagogue of Satan, and all the little imps helping them across the nation. Through music, movies, internet, television. Trying to raise the black man out the grave, that's a hella mission. But I accept that my boots never step back. My spine never buckles up, I knuckle up, expect that. What is the duty of the civilized? To teach the uncivilized, open up a nigga's eyes. Supreme wisdom, student enrollment. That's what the class of God students enrolling. Supreme wisdom, I study it hard. The study of myself is the study of God. Supreme wisdom, write your letter, get your X. Supreme wisdom, that's what you'll be getting next. Supreme wisdom, some call it the lessons. Book of life, the book of like actual facts, no guessing. Show improve, flow is smooth, every word on the level. But why does Muhammad or any Muslim murder the devil? Who is the 5%, the 10%, the 85%? Who is God, who is the devil, and who made the Bible? You wanna know the answers? Visit the nearest mosque or step into the nearest cipher on your block and hear the gods. Peace to Elijah, the God that started it all. Talk about Allah in the person of Master Farad. Peace to the father of the nation, the gods and earth. Brother Malcolm, Dr. Khaled for all their work. I can't forget the Jew and living among us today. He on the mission and I living among us to play. Minister Farrakhan, Musa standing next to him. Farrakhan's a paragon, Satan can't flex with him. Vex with him. The scholars bowing and respecting him. Elijah lives, Master Farad standing next to him. Supreme wisdom, student enrollment. That's what the class of God students enrolling. Supreme wisdom, I study it hard. The study of myself is the study of God. Supreme wisdom, write your letter, get your X. Supreme wisdom, that's what you'll be getting next. Supreme wisdom, some call it the lessons. Book of life, the book of like actual facts, no guessing.
You're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast.
Number one, understand that low vibration emotions like guilt and beating yourself up, they don't do anything for you. You know, everybody falls by slips, everybody has made a mistake, but we got to keep it moving forward. We got to keep it moving forward. You got to keep it moving forward. So don't beat yourself up because you know what you used to be. Focus on what you are going to become, what you're in the process of being. That's that's on that end of the spectrum. And then as it relates to finances, financial literacy, understanding how that system operates, it's a field of knowledge. And we gotta, just like we can sit around learning, what's going on with Drake and Kendrick Lamar, or what happened with Diddy, or, whatever the latest news is, we can spend time learning, about how to make our money go further. We know all these celebrities. How come we don't know John Hope Franklin? How come we don't know Myron Golden? How come we don't know, Russell Brunson? People who can help you get to where it is that you really say you want to get to, because they know they have the know-how. spend time learning from people who have the know-how.
Excellent points. Brother Shaka?
That was really powerful. We have to become students again, students of everything. We have to really put ourselves into the schools that are going to provide us with the most appropriate benefit. And when I say schools, I'm not talking about a brick and mortar structure where you show up every day for 8 hours. I'm talking about using these computers that we're all on, using Google, using the encyclopedia, going to the library, checking out books. If you're interested in a topic, there are volumes of books about that discipline. Any subject that you put into Google, you have pages and pages of it in an instant, filled with links. So there really is no excuse to not know. I think for our young people, you need to find someone that inspires you. I think too many of our young people lack inspiration. And when I see it all the time, like when they are inspired, you see the epiphany happen in real time. It's like, oh, like I didn't know that. Like, oh, maybe I can go to school. Oh, maybe I should read this book. You said the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is that? And so it then just opens up this entire world of conversation after conversation after conversation that we can have. But we have to be close enough to them. And that's why I often say proximity is the key. We have to be close enough to these young people because they are not going to come to us. They're just not. We unk them. We're old. We don't have the lingo, the slang, the dress. Like we don't look like them, and we're immediately they can point us out. Like we can't hide. But that's why we have to go amongst them anyway and just say, you know, I might not know all the dance moves, but my jump shot is better than yours. What? Yeah, my jump shot is still better than yours. Let's shoot. And so while I'm shooting jumpers and it's swish after swish after swish, I can just drop a little something on you. And I think that's important. Like we just give them a little bit at a time and then constantly touch back to them. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be a sermon. It doesn't have to be a lecture, but just a touch point.
Praise be to the excellent points. And that's going to just follow up on what you brothers said, reference to picking up a book. And this is what a lot of us, you know, in this day and age, we're reading text messages and what have you. So you're pretty much doing it anyway. And there's nothing wrong with, like Brother Vernon said, picking up a book that'll give you knowledge on how to deal with finances, how to deal with your emotions, how to deal with so many things. Because right now, as Brother Shaka said, with technology, it's at a touch of a button. We can have access to so many things if we really want to. And this is among us as men to choose our circle wisely. And if you heard me in the beginning of the segue, I said I appreciate talking to Brother Vernon and Brother Shaka and those of like minds that, you know, you can build with, you know, and then get different perspectives. And every time we build in this cipher, I always leave here with something. You know what I'm saying? Because it gave us a chance to express, it gave us a chance to put thought into ourselves. And then, you know, what we thought was right once 5 minutes ago has definitely changed because a brother shed some light on somewhere that was dark at one point. So it's important to have brothers who can talk positivity to you and not foolishness. And I think a lot of times men have to know how to decipher, okay, you can outgrow your friends. And that's important that we got to be, that's a hard discipline. You can be acquaintance with them, but once again, you can't bring everybody with you if you're trying to grow. And I think a lot of times, a lot of young brothers or men in general get stay in gang life or hustling because they don't want to leave a particular circle and they staying loyal to something that is bound for self-destruction. So if you take anything away from what Brother Vernon said and Brother Shaka said is we can elevate ourselves, but the choice is ours. You don't have to be a victim of our circumstances. And once again, there's always a way out. There's always a different path to where you want to go. Just like when you put an address in a GPS, it'll give you an alternate route if there's a roadblock somewhere. So there's always different ways and different directions that we can always take. You're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast.
I say the devil did it, but did I mean me? Could I be really my enemy? Oh Lord, hear me, please. Seeking refuge from being. I say the devil did it, but did I mean me? Could I be really my enemy? Oh Lord, hear me, please. Seeking refuge from being. Lazy and cowardly, trying to complete this task. Please help me succeed on God. Ya Allah, Ya Ra. Hear my heart. It's been pain, but I know it's not in vain. You know the saying, no pain, no gain. Difficulty brings ease from the flame. Hereafter, gotta get on our brain. Angel of death visits us every day, and we gotta walk the straight way. And if you stumble, then it's okay. Hit the rug and wash it away. Allahu Akbar, what the minister say. Right, yeah. I say the devil did it, but did I mean me? Could I be really my enemy? Oh Lord, hear me, please. Seeking refuge from being. I say the devil did it, but did I mean me? Could I be really my enemy? Oh Lord, hear me, please. Seeking refuge from being.
Wake up, hop out of bed, make a blue shit, fall on my face and I raise up. Alhamdulillah, stay prayed up. Can't fall asleep, gotta stay up. I can let the darkness overtake me. Got my oil, let's stay extra with it. I need my letters to extra lit. So waking up before dawn, go and grab my garage. Seeking refuge in a lot from the Akash to Shaitan. Every single day's a battle, I'm fighting the devil, this here is jihad. Real thing, no facade. I'm trying to humble this pride. I war with the enemy, I target the enemy. I ain't sure, but nigga timpani. They owe me a history. Oh shoot, now I got the victory. Can't show the devil no sympathy. Changing my chemistry, literally, physically. Raise the vibration, yeah, this the new energy.
I say the devil did it, but did I mean me? Could I be really my enemy? Oh Lord, hear me, please. Seeking refuge from being. I say the devil did it, but did I mean me? Could I be really my enemy? Oh Lord, hear me, please. Seeking refuge from being.
You're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast. And I want to share my personal experience in reference to overcome challenges and from what I've seen from my father, because, you know, I was blessed to have my father in the household. And he set certain standards. You know, my mom did great, but he set certain standards where it rubs off on me to the present time. And I never see my father not get up and ready for work. I see my father dealt with the bills. I saw my father handle pressures, and you never know uh, what your father goes through until one day you have to walk in his shoes, and you're like, now I get it. Because when you're younger, you don't get those understanding because you're like, okay, why dad is gone for 12, 13 hours a day, and you know, why is he always talking about, you know, budgeting and stuff like that? Because in your mind, you think dad can handle it. But once again, I'm pretty sure my dad has his challenges where he had to lean on, who had to lean on. But we're talking about a certain generation that was made to, you got a family, you got to work. That's it. There's no in betweens about it. And back then, even today, it was frowned upon when you didn't maintain your family, took care of responsibilities. And my father always made a big deal about that. And I'm gonna share a quick story. I remember one time, my father always said on Saturdays, before you go out the house, you vacuum, clean the house before you do anything, right? He didn't put no time frame before you do anything. So I remember we got to play football outside, and I went outside to my friend's house real quick, right? Just to talk about, you know, the football game, you know, and this is back in New York. So I come back home, and my father's standing there. He said, "Did you clean the house?" I said, "No, I went outside real quick," and then he had grounded me for that weekend. And he said, son, he's making a point. Back then I didn't understand, but he made a point. He said, son, you always put your priorities first, your leisure second. But you don't take care of your priorities, it suffers and you pay the consequence. So my consequence was he took away my freedom after I was all hyped up about it. But once again, it was a lesson that stuck in my head. And I even telling my children today, they always take care of your priorities first. So even when I deal with finances, and this is where it helps lead to the segue, when I'm dealing with finances, right? Even before I got married, and when you don't take care of your priorities, like you said, you got a choice between paying your bills, taking your responsibilities, or hanging out and blow that money on things that don't take care what needs to be taken care of. And those are the choices you got to make as you become a man. Because an immature man will blow the money, so I'm gonna live my life, damn the bills, but he comes back home, he can't put the lights on. You know what I'm saying? Or he opened the refrigerator, there's no food in there because he didn't prioritize his finances. So I just want to ask you, brothers, just from the examples you gave, what lessons did you learn that you can speak about personally, that how you learn how to mature, how to put your priorities first, where hopefully some young man listening to us can say, you know what, I got to get my act together. It can't be always about sport and play. So can you brothers share any personal experience on how you became more disciplined in that and the examples you got?
I think for me, it was, I started realizing how everything was presented as a choice. You know, you can be a poor person or you can be a rich person. You have the potential to be both.
Right.
Do you want to be? And how is what you're about to do now connected to each one of those? Which one would this likely lead you toward?
Right.
Am I making poor choices, or am I making the choices that will make me stronger, richer, wealthier, more able? You know? And when I started looking at everything in life like that, is this empowering me, or is this something that's holding me back? Is this helping the people who depend on me, or is this me being selfish and irresponsible? You know, it started to shape me in a certain way. And then it made me start looking for more information, more knowledge, more understanding on how to get better. How can I do more of this? You know, we heard the saying, Islam is mathematics. I'm not content with just hearing that or saying that. That means something. And I'm looking for examples in the world of people who implement that, so I can model them in implementing that. And it doesn't matter if they are, you know, from this school of thought or that school of thought. If they are putting the mathematics into practice so that they can get the correct answer to that equation, I need to figure out how I can be more like that.
Praise be to our brother Shaka. Great point, brother Vernon.
A great point, brother. I heard somebody say, I was probably 11th or 12th grade, that it's all hard. You just have to choose your heart. Being in shape is hard. Being overweight is hard. Being wealthy is hard. Being poor is hard. Being dumb is hard. Being highly intelligent is hard. It's all hard. You just have to choose your heart. And so I say that to myself, you know, often whenever I think something is a little bit more difficult than I want to deal with. Like, yeah, okay, what's the alternative of me not getting up and going to the gym at 4 o'clock? I'm gonna be bent over, broke down, and a non-threat at 55, 60. What's the benefit of me not going to work? I have to tell my son, daddy can't. You know, I like being able to say, you want those shoes, you're gonna get them. If I tell you no, it's because your room wasn't clean, or, you know, you had one too many B's on your report card. I never want it to be because I can't afford the thing, or I can't make it happen, as we like to say, because I continually do the hard thing. I'm going to do the hard thing. I'm going to look for the most challenging road, because I know on the other side of that difficulty is going to be the reward that I'm going to get, that most people are going to miss because they're constantly ducking the most difficult road.
Yes, sir. So I'm asking you brothers this, and you know, money and stress, right? That seems to be like a man's kryptonite, right? Because we all know that you need money to maintain. But once again, we can't make that our God. But once again, we like to be in a comfortable stage. Like men, we have a timeline, right? None of us want to work until we're 70 or 80 years old. You know, we see a lot of older people doing that under different circumstances. It is not saying that they did anything wrong, but all of us have a timeline that we want to be financially comfortable so we can have a peace of mind to some degree. Like Brother Shaka said, pick your heart. You know, even when you retire, you still got to have discipline to be able to budget yourself because X amount of dollars are not coming in like it used to when you're working. So you have to be disciplined that you can't do certain things because you're on a fixed income. So why do you believe that money and stress is one of the biggest things that's on a man's mind, especially when he has responsibilities? Why do you think that's such a big burden, even though we shouldn't make that our God?
I think it's all connected, you know, here's the term that we don't hear a lot of.
Yes, sir.
Being a man of means.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real important term. Means. A man of means means that you have the things that you need to have, and you have the ability to do what's necessary, what you have to do. Being a man of means. If people don't know that that's a thing, they won't even know that, oh, that's something I should strive to be. But having the stuff that you need, having the resources that you need is so connected to everything that you do, everything you're responsible for, every obligation that you have. You know, you're not going to get away from responsibilities and obligations in this life. So handling that and handling it well is, should be the goal. And I think that lessens some of the stress, because it's one thing to say, okay, here's something I got to take care of. Let me take care of this. Boom, I got it done.
Yes, sir.
And it's a thing to be like, oh man, this thing got the best of me. I didn't take care of it, or I couldn't take care of it. It beat me. You know, it's two totally different feelings.
Yes, sir.
But if you have the mindset, if your mind is right, then you can approach whatever obligation or responsibility you have in life and be successful with it.
I agree. And then, you know what's funny, brothers? So today I'm food shopping, right? And I'm in my head, right? And I'm like, man, I gotta make sure that my children got what they need. And my wife sends me this long text message, this, certain groceries, what have you. And I always go back into like, it was these big giant screen TVs, right, inside of Sam's, right? So I'm looking. Now I said, man, the single me, I could have bought me a nice where I had a vision in my head where I could put it in my house. I had dreams in my head, but once again, that discipline always kicking as I'm pushing the food cart. And I'm walking by, and I don't know if you remember the episode of Martin where the TV was calling his name. It was calling my name because it was some bad TVs, man. And that's like, I could afford it, but once again, the mature me, the mature man in me, kicked in. Now, somebody who was not disciplined would have chose a TV, came up with an excuse, and hey, man, we needed a TV, blah, blah, blah. But we needed it, right? We needed a TV so I can look for a job on the bigger screen. So you're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast.
I feel like I woke up from a good dream. I remembered the whole thing. Look up. The world's on your shoulders, brother. Cook up. Nobody can hold you, brother. No luck. Ain't nothing by chance. Ain't no mystery God gon' put food in my hand. I'm hot. You can tell it, my buzz is enormous. DJs bring my records back around like karma. Turn the booth to a sauna. Humble down, I'm honored, and I don't take nothing for granted. Every day, not promised. Look, I used to pump bass on the block like a block party. Now I hold a space in the top of the large army. Devil looking for me, he want me, go call me. These rappers is empty-handed, these cowards got nothing for me. It's true art, I put my life up on the page. Paint pictures, you see my thoughts when they convey. Real talk, my atmosphere, control the space. Ain't nothing fake, the character hold no weight. To live a life of disgrace and never stand for no substance. Who like the devil because he give me nothing. Young lion, it's your time to be king. It's your time to be king. No time to be crying, young lion. They don't care what you think. They don't care how you think, they don't care how you feel, young lion. If you drowning about to sink, and you living on the brink, all they see is results. So you gotta do the most. Keep your head to the stars, let your scars be your growth. Better roar, young lion. Every day I'm hustling, I'm about progression. Another day alive, thank Allah for the blessing. Mind pregnant with vision, speaking into existence. Invest the money, make the money, stack it like it's Tetris. Get the message. Make way for my arrival. They swearing I'm the truth, left hand on the Bible. I done seen stand up men starting to wobble. Too many squares in your circle is like a waffle. Awful. Let me give you proper perspective. Switch it up, your methods is ineffective. You be on the gram with the flex and it don't impress us. I be up late with the craft trying to perfect it. You looking for acceptance, I'm looking to be respected. The difference between us completely diametric. Them bars over your head, better learn to pull up. Lyrical exercise, I'm wise, I make them get up. On God, nobody better, I'm stomping with the steppers. Better roar, young lion, it's your time to be king. It's your time to be king, no time to be crying, young lion. They don't care what you think, they don't care how you think, they don't care how you feel, young lion. If you drowning about to sink, and you living on the brink, all they see is results. So you gotta do the most. Keep your head to the stars, let your scars be your growth. Better roar, young lion. Better roar, young lion. Better roar, young king. Young queen, never let nobody have you living out your means. Better never let nobody take away your life. Don't you never let nobody put cracks in your mind. Listen, this is life. It ain't always right, but it's always real. Elevate your height. Learn to choose your battles. Learn to pick your fights. Stay for with the family. It's on sight. It's on sight. Right. Yeah. Rise.
You're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast. Allah's the best of planners, and I definitely want to thank our brothers. So, final thoughts, brothers. Anything you want to plug, Brother Shaka? If you got anything going on with your Bravo Zulu Chess Academy, and please, ladies and gentlemen, look out for that. We do great things in the community. Brother Shaka is definitely a blessing to our community when it comes to that. Any closing words, Brother Shaka?
No, sir. We do have summer camp coming up. I appreciate the plug. This will be our 11th year of summer camp. By the grace of Allah, 13th year overall of our program. You can go to bravozuluchess.org to see some of the work that we've been doing in the community for more than a decade. I am incredibly proud of our young people. We win a lot of tournaments. We have a lot of trophies, but more importantly, we build young people and we help send them to school. And last year we were able to give away a $10,000 scholarship for a young lady, and we want to give away 2 this year. So, inshallah.
Praise be to Allah. See, that's an example. You can't say they're not black men doing what they're supposed to do, because he is one of them. And definitely appreciate what you do, brother, and look forward to working with you. And anything that we can do to support you, you already know our word is bond with that we got your back, brother. Yes, sir. And then, too, my brother Vernon, one of the smoothest brothers in the world. Matter of fact, my mom asked about you the other day, Brother Vernon.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah, because she remembers. Yeah, what's that? What she say? She go, "Where's that boy that left his shirt here? What's his name?" I said, "Brother Vernon." Yeah.
Did I ever get that shirt?
Yeah, I think she's just here. You left the shirt here. So,
well, hey, I definitely have some good things cooking up. For those of everyone should know, I'm gonna make sure that they know. My business is Camnon Business Services. It's a business development and strategy firm. I help people strategize on how to get whatever their 12-month goal is. We have that conversation. We have strategy sessions. We get to the essential pieces of a successful business, the core of which is financial literacy, bookkeeping, making sure that you got your finances and your numbers straight so that you can build and reach your goals for your next business endeavor. So if you are in business for yourself, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner, and you want to navigate this terrain that the present environment has us in, then visit camnonservices.com and take advantage of one of those free strategy sessions that are there, camnonservices.com.
Praise be to Allah. And once again, thank my brothers for coming through. And if you have a moment, as you hear this, you can visit us on Brother Levon X communityreporting.com, where we have blogs, podcasts, you name it, inspiration. And then you never know, you may get a blog from Brother Vernon or Brother Shaka, because they also always have something great to put out there. We send out blogs daily, but this is a way that we can bring something positive to the forefront. And we look forward to building with our brothers again. So until the next time, may Allah continue to bless you. I hope that anybody who listens to this, if you have young sons or you're a man yourself that is having challenges, go to our website and sign up to our list, and then, leave us a message, and perhaps we can answer any of your questions. And then, of course, Brother Shaka's camp, if he wants to be around somebody positive, we bear witness. We have done things in the prison system where Brother Shaka's services help young brothers who are incarcerated learn the game of chess, and he used that tool as a way of just demonstrating how we're responsible for every move. And the chess game is definitely a good strategy of reaching our young brothers, because it doesn't matter how big you are, what color you are, what ethnicity you are, what religion you believe in. It's all about how intelligent you are, and may the smartest or an intelligent person win the game. So it's definitely a great tool. We thank Brother Shaka for doing that, and it was definitely a blessing. He definitely did some great things in the community. So until the next time, Allah continue to bless you. Assalamu alaikum. You're listening to BLXCR Talk Show Radio, your community informative podcast.
That's not the purpose at all. The purpose for truth is not to condemn color, but to condemn wrong. When wrong is condemned by the presence of truth, the wrongdoer, in the light of truth, has his or her actions or thoughts illuminated for them by the presence of truth. This is mercy from God, because it allows us to correct our actions. If our actions go uncorrected, they bring in their wake consequences that may not be good for the actor. Great nations like this one have gone to ruin because people were hateful of truth. They despised that which corrected them. What makes one despise correction? It is arrogance. Arrogance is a state of mind that blinds us to truth. For we begin to feel that we are better than, bigger than, above criticism. How dare you tell me that I'm wrong? Do you know who I am? Truth, frankly, doesn't give a damn. Truth doesn't care who you are. Truth doesn't care what your position is. President is not above truth. Pope is not above truth. Prophet is not above truth. King is not above truth. Truth is the root of the universe. The universe may pass away, but the truth shall remain. So truth is what our lives are given to serve. It is truth that evolves us. It is truth that nurtures us. It is truth that makes us come into the path of God and makes us reflect the Creator. Truth. Falsehood created nothing. Falsehood can never be sustained. So you are at this university paying tens of thousands of dollars. Your parents are for you young students, white and black and Jew and Gentile, to get the truth that you may make a better life for yourself and a better world in which you and we can live. The problem is arrogance blinds us to truth. Look, there is no discipline that you are studying where the person who wrote the book has a knowledge of that discipline that is absolute. God didn't write the textbook. So if Freud wrote it, it has a lot to be desired. Socrates was brilliant, but he wasn't God. So if you read Socrates, if you read Plato, if you read Tillich, whoever you read, if you read Dewey, if you read Machiavelli, whoever you read, not God. So what you are reading is a person who has studied what the Creator created and drew from the creation his perception of the truth and wrote it down in a book and made a dissertation or wrote a thesis, and that became your book. So you're studying from a student who has not yet perfected the discipline. So if you are not trained to stand on the shoulders of the great thinkers, to look beyond them, then you become enslaved to that which is imperfect, and you become non-functional in a world that needs your mind. Listen, students. Listen. You are born for this day, for this time. Your minds are equipped to go beyond a man that wrote 100 years ago, 25 years ago, even 10 years ago. You must never be enslaved to your teachers. You must honor and respect them, but stand on their shoulders and move more toward the absolute. Knowledge is not a stagnant thing. Knowledge is an ever-evolving thing as we move toward perfection. But once you stop the evolutionary process saying, I got it, that's when you lost it. Because what we know, you could put on the head of a common pen and it would have much room left on that pen in comparison to what is in the universe for us yet to learn. The fact that we have a problem with garbage, just think about that. Big problem. What are you going to do with your garbage? Oh, now, does that sound like trivia? Here's a barge going up and down the Atlantic Ocean filled with garbage, trying to find some place to dump it. Now, for 20 years, it's Earth Day. Isn't that wonderful? At last, after you all been in power all these years, you've learned now, oh my God, we better do something to protect the earth. The Native American could have told you that the day you met them. The Native Americans are the #1 protectors of the environment. All their writings, all their speeches, all their old old prophecies deal with environment. Why didn't we learn from them? Well, after all, I mean, they're nothing but savages, heathens. We are the great Christians who came to civilize these savages and teach them about the Lord Jesus Christ. You mean the Lord Jesus Christ didn't hip you all to environment? You mean one who came to lead and guide us into all truth didn't tell you to protect the earth? But greed, you see, arrogance, cause you to pollute the earth, pollute the air, pollute the water. Now you have a problem with garbage. But of course, you're studying economics. Isn't that interesting? And the Creator has no problem with anything. He recycles everything. What a masterful economist. But of course, God, let's leave him out of this, because what does God know? You put your little cheap knowledge above the knowledge of the Creator. And that's why you're in the condition that you're in.
We're waiting on Brother Levon X to give his next report. The brother has been very informative, and everyone is so excited about his next form of information. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Levon X.
Who's in this? You're Levon X. You're Levon X. Who's in this? You're Levon X. Conversation. Who's in this? You're Levon X. Only. You're Levon X. Who's in this? You're Levon X. Information, conversation, stories too, maybe an interview. Brother, just keep it cool. We loving what you do, showing us self-respect. Can't wait to see what's next. Hey y'all, it's time for Bonnet. Who's in this?